We've talked about the concept of daily debridement, decontamination, and disinfection. And one area where this applies, we've talked about in the mouth orally, we've talked about in the nose. Now let's talk about what we can do with foot care on that. There are two basic things that we can treat with this. One of them is athlete's foot, or in my particular case, I have fought a toenail fungus for years. Now, what is the protocol? First of all, to debride the skin, I think you need to use a foot file. And you can use the sodium hypochlorite to decontaminate and disinfect the surface of the foot. And if you're going to use that on a toenail fungus, you can work some of this solution under the toenail. We talk about the foot file. This costs you about $5 or $6, and there are two surfaces. One is more abrasive and can be used initially until you get some improvement, and then you can go to the smoother side. And this happens to be the one that I use. And since I've been using this, I cannot tell you how much sense of touch I have with my feet compared with what I had before. It's absolutely amazing. The alternative is to use this Clorox disinfecting wipe, and we'll talk about that as we go through the video. Now, here's the result. We can see my toenail on the left, and this is the way it looked for years. I would cut this back, I would put Vaseline underneath it, I would put soak it in Clorox, I'd do this, that, and the other. But until I came up with a protocol that I'm going to show you on the video, my nail looked like that. And in all probability, if I went to a podiatrist, they'd want to take my nail off. But then, this is the way it looks after I've used the protocol. And you can see the black line there across the nail where all of this is grown out. And I think if I wait another period of time, that depression that you see toward the tip of the toenail will absolutely go away. Now, let's go to the video where we can discuss actually how I do this. Before we go to the video, I want to tell you what you're going to see on the video. Now, I mentioned that I have been using a sodium hypochlorite solution similar to what I have been using for years as an oral rinse. And I use some special wipes that I dip the solution in and rub it into my foot and underneath the toenail. But then I found and got the idea that you can get these Clorox wipes, and I think it's much simpler to go ahead and use those. Now, I also mentioned that I use the foot file on that, and it's not a fingernail file, it's a foot file. And for a period of time, I used the abrasive area, the one that was coarse, because there was so much thickness on my foot. But over a period of time, the thickness has gone away, and now I just use the smoother side, and I do that on a daily basis. And I cannot tell you what a great sense of touch I now have with my feet now that I don't have that thick layer on there before. So therefore, another thing I think you need to take in consideration is, I wear athletic shoes, when I'm on the treadmill and all, and I think you need to go ahead and take those and soak them in the solution like overnight or so to disinfect those so that you don't chronically reinfect your foot. So now let's go to the video. It's a little rough, but I think you'll get the idea on how it should be used. I wanted to go over with you the protocol that I've used probably for the last year, which has enabled me to get rid of my toenail fungus, which I have suffered from for years and years and years and years. Okay, with this foot file, we have a very abrasive side and we have a smooth side. And I have been using the gross side for some time, but now my foot is so much smoother that basically I just use the smooth side on this, And basically I do this on a daily basis. I'll go to a stroke of about 100. I'll just go over like this and sand my feet. And you can begin to see that I will get a little debris on that, but I'll do it about 100 times on each foot. Then once I'm through with that, I have been taking these little of things like this and have been soaking them in a sodium hypochlorite solution that you see right here. And I will do that and soak it in this, and I'm not going to do it right here because I don't want to spill it on the floor, but I soak this, and then for about a minute I will work this solution into my foot and work this underneath the toenail. And I do this on both feet, and then I dry my feet, and basically what I do is I take a white sock so I don't get that Clorox solution and bleach something, put it over my foot like this, and dry it like that before putting on my regular socks. And you can see in looking at the video, and I don't know whether you can see it right there or not, but there's a depression right there where this nail has grown out all the way to this area. And in all probability, I think that depression is going to grow out and I'm not going to have any problem. And I'll have a perfectly healthy nail. Another thing that you might try is using these Clorox wipes like this. And just take one of them like this. Now, like I say, I have used the solution on that, but this is damp, and I think this would work just as well on that, and I think it would be simpler. But simply for about a minute, I just work that into that, work that into that, work that into that, and all on here. And then, as I say, take the sock and put it back on there and dry it good before placing on your regular sock. Now, personally, I have been using this daily, probably for about the last 6 months to possibly a year. I can't remember accurately, but the toenail grows out very slowly, and I think it's going to grow out all the way. And certainly I think this is a better alternative than taking some of the oral medication, which can cause liver damage and has to be monitored and blood samples taken. So try this if you have a nail fungus on that. I think you can treat it and get rid of it, and certainly using this protocol would certainly prevent athlete's foot. Enjoy.